machine will help you communicate with the comatose and find what you need. It looks something like you'd see in a sci-fi movie. But back to business. We will be monitoring your brain waves with these computers to make sure there are no complications.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this machine is only experimental in status and has only been used once before.
I wish you would have told me that before. Who was it tested on?
There was a married couple, and the husband was in a car accident and he died. And we used this machine so she could say goodbye, and...
And?
3 months later, she committed suicide. The brainwaves got mixed, and somehow it was like she was the one that caused his pain.
I don't care about the past. I just want to know what happened to my sister.
Ah, Lieutenant McKee. I'm glad to see you took the time to find me. Even in a coma, I still had the desire for you to seek the truth.
Let's take it from the top. Full details.
Very well.
What's going on here?
Please, sir, this is a critical moment.
I told her not to do this. Take her off.
We can't.
God damn it, I said take her off now.
If we take her off, it'll kill her. Now, please stand aside.
It was pretty obvious that she never bothered to get a fake ID in high school, because she wasn't very hip to all the scams and deceptions. All I had to do was feed her a few cornball pickup lines, buy her a few drinks, and bam! Instant trust. By the time the bars closed, she was so gone. It was almost too easy to get her back to my place. It's amazing how much women lower their standards after 10 or 12 shots. When I brought her back to the house, she couldn't even tell it was a squat. Come to think of it, she really couldn't even tell her right from her left. This is where the real fun begins.
Please, let me go.
Oh, please let me go! Everybody says that until some psychopath kidnaps their pansy ass. Well, girl, you better come up with something a little more original than that if you want me to even consider it.
Would you consider it? At least answer me, you piece of shit.
Oh, it's tempting. Quite tempting. But the thing is, I let you go, and you come back with the 5-0, which only leads me to the conclusion that it's not fucking worth it! Do you know what my favorite time of year is?
Thanksgiving?
Do you know why it's my favorite holiday?
No.
When I was a little boy, my mother would always buy the biggest pumpkin at the market. And we would bring it home, and she would say, "Jack, this is what I used to do when I was a little girl. Now I'm giving it to you." The knife she carved pumpkins with. So that night, I carved a pumpkin with a human face, and I cut it up. My mother didn't think it was right for a normal boy to carve a human face and slit its throat. So now, my dear, you get to be the pumpkin.
What's happening to her?
He's getting to her.
Ah, yes. The grand finale. Now that I've shown you a brief taste of my childhood, it's time to end this game with a little lesson my mother tried to teach me in church. You know the story of Jesus being nailed to the cross? Well, I think the fact that they nailed him by his hands and his feet is kind of starting to become a tired method. I mean, you see it in the news all the time. Vigilante kills for God by nailing him by his hands and feet. You know, the minister used to tell us tales like that in hopes that we'd shriek in fear. But you know, it made me smile. I mean, how often is it that a 9-year-old boy smiles at the thought of someone being murdered? Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel refreshing to be the part of an original method of torture? Can you feel it? Let me tell you, Lieutenant, she was a great pumpkin.
Is that the best you could do?
Excuse me?
Did it make you feel big, torturing a woman? What's the matter, Jack? Couldn't kidnap a man? Did you forget to eat your spinach? Did your mother teach you not to eat your vitamins?
I don't think you understand my madness.
Shut the fuck up! You only speak when you're fucking spoken to! The only regret that I have is not finishing you off in that warehouse. Well, let me tell you something, jackass. That is a mistake that I will not make twice.
Is there something you're not telling me, Lieutenant?
I guess you'll have to wait and see. Get me the hell out of here!
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Looks like everything was successful this time.
You should go home and get some rest, McKee. You look like shit.
Okay.